Alright, this is my final project video with an overview of the application and a little bit into the code of what I did here. So I created a web application that can store author books and reviews so that they can view each other's ratings and reviews and get a general idea on how well they're doing with some of their books. Alright, so let's give it a shot. Alright, so let's go ahead and log in. We have a couple different authors here that we can use for testing purposes. So let's go ahead and pick J.R. Tolkien. Alright, let's click login. Alright, so now on the bottom here, our current user is now from here on going to be keeping track of who is doing what. So we have an opportunity here to choose a book. He can choose his own, obviously, or one of somebody else's. So let's go ahead and choose Ender's Game and view it. Alright, so here the database pulls the title, age group, and the summary of the book, and on the bottom it will list any reviews in the database. So we have a review here by Chris Paolini, and then one that J.R. Tolkien himself wrote. Yeah, not really. That's not actually his stuff, but yeah. So let's go ahead and add a review then. So add a review. Here's my client side validation for review. It will not let you put special characters in, so won't work. But let's go ahead and add a review. This is a wonderful book. So wonderful, I'd say rates an 80 out of 100. Submit, and it worked. Validation worked as well. Alright, so this has now been inserted into the database, which we can go ahead and prove here. Let's go ahead and refresh. There it is. This is a wonderful book. And now let's go ahead and try editing it. There is the previous review. Let's go ahead and change it to "This is a terrible book. Should not read this book, actually. I changed my mind. Horrible book. Go ahead and update it. Now this is a terrible book, and that will reflect in the database down here. This is a terrible book. Alright, go to the home page. Now, let's go ahead and go back to that same book with the same author. And now here he is. This book is so good, and now it's horrible. I don't know. He must have read it a second time as he got older. Alright, so now let's test a little bit different functionality. Add a review. This book stinks. Doesn't matter. Submit it with a 10 out of 100 review. Now let's go ahead and delete it. But first, let's make sure it's in the database. Let's go ahead and refresh. There it is. This book stinks. And delete. Now let's check the database. Refresh. And it's gone. Awesome. Now some additional functionality. So if you are J.R. Tolkien and you log in and you decide to view your own book here, alright, this will list all of the current reviews. Oh, what in the world? Oh, right. J.R. Tolkien cannot review his own book. That would be considered cheating. And as for the book, that is an overview of the application. Now, as for the code, I did it in the classic model that we were taught. Everything works out of the controller, the index here, you know, the author logins, the adding reviews, the success or failure, editing, deleting. Everything goes to the controller to figure out what to do. I put most of my functions like updating and deleting here in my admin DB, whereas you have other basic functions in some of my other model folders, but it's all in the model for DB related functions. And then for my views, they're all just basic views that don't interact with the database. They're just given the information to show the user. And that, I think, covers everything in my proposal to create an application that had one controller that enabled the user to add, delete, edit, and view input, as well as interact with the data like it showed. So that is my video, and thank you for watching.